Hello, and welcome to this quick video talking about the Foundry virtual tabletop. So, as you're probably aware, we have a Kickstarter currently running with Hog Publishing, and they are preparing an advanced fighting fantasy rule set for the Foundry VTT. So, you may not be aware or familiar with the Foundry world, the Foundry virtual tabletop. So, I thought I'd give you just a very quick overview and explain why we decided this would be a very good fit for Advanced Fantasy. So I'm just going to join as a games master, and we've got our we've got our image. Now we can put multiple maps in, we can put backgrounds in, we can put all sorts of stuff. And we've got loads of tools we can use. So here we've got a token, and I can move that token where I want. We can apply grids and so on. Pretty standard stuff. We can measure distances. We can draw on here. We can even put in walls, and you might be able to see there that the walls appeared along the edge, and windows, so you've got vision through them and so on. You might be able to see this room on the left here is slightly different because that has a light source, and we can put flickering. We can put sounds in. We can even do things like have a crackling fire sound that you can apply to a particular point that's blocked by walls. So as this character approaches, as this character approaches this door and opens it, they would see the flickering firelight and they would hear the crackling of the fire, and it would get louder the closer they are to that fire, which is really quite cool. We've obviously got things like rollable dice. So we've got some D6s. So I'm going to roll a couple of D6s there, and the score will appear here. This is just a test setup. We don't have a character sheet yet for the Foundry one, but there will be a character sheet from which you can roll for luck, which you can roll spells, etc. We've got combat tracker, and you can even put in sound so that when it gets that player's turn, their client will play a sound. We can have different actors, which can be monsters, characters, etc. And we can have them compendium packs. So these compendium packs really, and the character sheet are what we are coding in as part of the Kickstarter. So there will be a compendium pack for Out of the Pit. So a GM will be able to go on here, they will be able to click on it, they will see the text from Out of the Pit, the monster image, they will see the stats and so on. And when you then drag that monster to the combat tracker, to the list of actors, it will be available for you to use. And what's quite nice about Foundry is there's also lots of different modules. So there's a long list here. Not all of these are relevant, so they're all for all different games. But you've got a module here, rideable, so you can actually make one token ride another. So when you move the base token, the rider goes with it. You can change various things. So you've got a lock and key compendium, you've got different dice, you've got sounds, you've got token controls, and so on. But what is also quite nice is you actually join this as a on a browser window. So you can see here, this is my Firefox browser, and if I move that up there just a little bit, and then we bring this back in front, obviously normally these would be on different computers, but as a player I can then move that to there, and it moves on the GM1. But what you might also notice is, if I move that out of the way, you might notice that little pointer moving there. It shows where the player's mouse is relative to the screen. So when you're trying to teach someone a new rule set and you say, we need to have, click on that bit there, and the player says, where do I click? You say, no, to the right a little bit. Yep, that's it, click on that bit. They will be able to click on the right thing. And so because it's browser based, the player doesn't need to download the software. The player doesn't need to update the software. The player just comes along on game night. They click on the link, and there are various hosting options as well. But if you're doing it with the desktop app, like I am here, the player clicks on the link, they sign in, they're in the game. Okay, so they don't need any downloads, they don't need any updates. And what is also nice is that the AFF module, that is to say the character sheet, the base automation around it, that will be free. So when it is done, summer, hopefully, that will be released for free. You will be able to download that, add that as a module in Foundry and play. Now, of course, what you won't have is you won't have any of the skills or weapons or armors or talents or spells or monsters or anything. Tables, none of that will be in there. That is the bit that you paid for. So that is the Kickstarter obviously is allowing both to be created, but you are buying the modules. And it is also worth saying that the Kickstarter gives you the modules at a big discount. I know we mentioned this on the last video, but it really is worth saying. So if we meet various stretch goals and we get, say, 4 of the modules, and you buy all of them as part of Kickstarter, you could be saving it's about £20 across those modules, which is not an insignificant saving. So the Foundry rule set is very quick to learn. It's very user friendly. You've got a lot of control over what you do. You've got a lot of nice little tools, and the plan is to get adventures up on here, to get things like Combat Companion, Magic Companion, Upcoming Priest Companion, all of those on here, so that you can enable these modules and get going. So hopefully that's given you a quick overview. The Kickstarter is live for another 3 weeks or so. You've still got plenty of time, but please do spread the word, because if this happens, it will be a fantastic way to play AFF online. Thank you until next time.